Are we just replacing the movies that we have in our collections already? Or should we just be focusing on building a movie collection? Let's talk about it today in the video. Welcome back to the channel, guys. And if you're new here, my name's Matt. And this channel is all about movies, TV, special editions, limited editions, 4K, Blu-ray, DVD, and sometimes VHS. So, yeah, as the thumbnail says, are we just replacing what we already have in our movie collections? And are we not building a new collection? I think we may be guilty of doing this to some degree, depending on the type of collector you are. I know I am guilty of doing it. We're constantly looking for better versions of previous films that we have. I know I've done it with the Matrix films, the Back to the Future films, the Star Wars films. The list goes on, doesn't it? So yeah, why do we do this? Well, I think there's various reasons for it. I think we ultimately want to keep up with the technology, finding better versions of films, previously unreleased film versions or special features. The packaging changes over the different formats, doesn't it? So I think there's a number of reasons why we do replace what we've got before. But then there's the question, well, are we getting rid of what we've got before, or are we keeping hold of that? Now again, I think that's dependent on the collector. I'm guilty of keeping previous editions because I like the packaging. Sometimes you find there are special features that are not on the new editions, or different cuts of the film that may not be on the new editions. We do find with the 4K releases, often they're just releasing the theatrical cuts on the 4K discs, and they're still providing us with the previous Blu-ray disc, which may contain a theatrical cut and the director's cut or extended cut. But that's largely kept on the Blu-ray, which we probably would have had on an earlier release. So that begs the question, well, why are they doing that? Simply because they want us to re-buy it again in the future, an extended cut, director's cut on 4K. So what do you do about this? Well, ultimately it's your own choice. I've done a few videos where I've looked at my collection and considered, is this film worth upgrading? And sometimes yes it is, and sometimes it isn't. But again, that's personal choice. I think you have to ask yourself, what kind of collector am I? Now, personally, I'm a collector who doesn't want a big, huge, vast library of films. I am quite select in the films that I like to collect. A lot of films I'll just happily be a one-time watch, and that's where streaming comes in handy. Certainly with horror films, I generally just sort of watch those maybe once or twice in a sort of 10 to 15 year period, something like that. But it's not a genre that I will collect. And I'm sure there are you out there, collectors, that may be big horror collectors, but not necessarily big science fiction or action collectors. And it's absolutely fine. Depends on what you want to collect. And there's no right or wrong answer in this. There's no wrong way to collect, but it's still interesting to sort of talk about, do we get fixated on just replacing our collection of movies that we already have, rather than actually looking at other films that may be coming out or that we haven't had in our collection previously. Now, I'm at a point with my collecting where I'm at a sort of space is premium point now. So I'm kind of getting to the stage where it's kind of a one in, one out policy. I do like the fact that we can stream films as well as collect, and I think that gives you the opportunity to watch new films and then make an informed decision as to whether you want to add it to your collection or not. And generally with the newer films, you're not necessarily going to be replacing those. You're just going to probably be going for the best format that you feel you want to collect. Now, obviously, DVD and Blu-ray are still available to buy, but you also have the 4K option as well. Now, most of us as collectors tend to go for the 4K option. However, depends again what kind of collector you are. There are still a lot of DVD collectors out there, and equally a lot of Blu-ray collectors. I guess it all comes down to whether you want to just focus on having the best quality for sound and picture as well, the best packaging that speaks to you. And again, a lot of this is subjective, depending on the artwork. Steelbooks come out, they bring out different versions of steelbooks, different packaging and all the rest of it. And again, nobody has to collect everything. Some people do, some people don't. I try to go for what speaks to me, what I'm really interested in, and you have to make informed choices. It's a collector's market. They're very much aiming a lot of this stuff at collectors, and they know that people will double, triple and even quadruple dip. And if you've been collecting for a long time, you've probably gone through most of the formats: VHS, Laserdisc, DVD, Blu-ray, and now 4K. And I think in your collecting journey, you have to kind of stop and reassess your collection from time to time. Decide what's important to you. Assess whether you've got enough space to collect, and sometimes maybe have to cull the collection to free up space so you can collect new movies. Me, generally, a lot of the new films that are coming out I'm not enjoying as much as a lot of the catalogue titles, and I think we're seeing a lot of the catalogue titles getting fresh releases. I'll give you an example. The Shining recently had a full Film Vault big edition, a bit like these editions, like that one down there, the Apollo 13. Now they're coming out with a steelbook inside them instead, and again, it's a really nice edition, that. But I do have a previous steelbook which is all in yellow, and I paired that up with a collector's edition which was a white box with goodies inside, postcards, posters and all this sort of thing. Again, I had to make the informed decision. Well, yes, I could collect the Film Vault, but if I'm going to get that one, I really need to get rid of the other one. That's just for me, because I don't have the space to be able to collect new things anymore. But I decided, no, I'm happy with what I've got. The yellow steelbook is very striking. You don't get many yellow steelbooks. I like the outer packaging of the, I think it was a UK set. I don't have it to hand, but yeah, I just made that decision. I didn't want to replace it. I wanted to stick with what I've got. And I think that's the best way to sort of move forward with this kind of thing. You've got to decide what is important to you. Should you be replacing something that you've already got, or do you want to expand your collection, have a bigger collection of films, or are you just wanting to focus and have exactly what you want in your collection? Curate it is a word that I hear a lot with collectors now, and I think I'm at that stage where I'm wanting to curate my collection, just collect the films that are important to me, that speak to me, that I'm going to have rewatchability with, and maybe clear out some of these films that I don't necessarily want to rewatch again. I do struggle with letting go of films and editions, because in my collecting journey I've always tried to seek out limited collector's editions across different formats, so it's a lot harder for me to let things go. But ultimately, if it's a standard edition of a film that I've got and I replace it with something new, then I'm going to have to let the standard edition go, because, like I say, space is a premium. So, what do you think about this subject? Stick down in the comments. Are you just replacing films in your movie collection, or do you rather focus on buying new films, expanding your collection, having quite a few different genres in your collection? Again, it's all individual. There's no right or wrong answer to this. But yeah, I'd be interested to hear your thoughts down in the comments. And if you're new here, I'll have put up a QR code at various points in this video. Please consider subscribing to the channel, and you can do it in two ways. You can either scan that QR code if you're watching this on the television, and that will take you to a link to be able to subscribe to the channel, or if you're watching this on a mobile or computer or a tablet, just click that subscribe button down below. It's free to do so, no charge, completely free, and you can go and browse the channel, have a look at some other videos. I've got lots of different playlists. The one that seems very popular is the chats and podcast playlist. A lot of people are watching these types of videos where I just sit down in front of the camera and just chat about different subjects concerning physical media collecting. So if that's something that you're interested in, click that subscribe button and come and join the channel.